artificial intelligence into election management can enhance accuracy and fairness, prevent fraud, and automate voter registration using biometric data. However, implementing AI in elections also presents challenges and issues. Dr. Momar Dieng, a Harvard University professor and Dean of Business at the African Leadership University in Kigali, Rwanda, discussed these issues with VOA's Ndiho.
The emergence of these AI tools is really going to revolutionize how politics is done, not just in Africa, all over the world. We already see signs of it. When you look at most political systems, is that a lot of times political parties only give attention to voters during campaigns and around election times. And that's one of the things that AI can really help with. You've seen already chatbots, that are being used by African parties in certain countries to be able to ask questions in real time, get a sentiment from voters, ask them specific questions about issues that they are concerned with. And that used to take a lot of resources, a lot of human presence on the ground, boots on the ground to be able to do, which means a lot of money. Now, political parties will be able to do that in a very cheap way. Technology is going to change that game and really allow small movements to be able to have a much larger reach immediately and have contact with voters that is increasingly going to feel very real, even though it's powered by AI.
Let's stay on the issue of regulation. How important is regulation when it comes to regulating this new technology?
It should be regulated in the same way that drugs and food are regulated, right? You wouldn't imagine an environment where your country would just let any drugs come in without really ensuring that they actually perform according to the claims of the makers and that they don't cause more harm than good. So it's going to be a similar situation where we cannot we cannot prevent the use of these tools, but we'll have to make sure that our governments and our regulators are equipped to be able to rein them in and put some boundaries when it comes to the use of personal information, when it comes to slandering, for instance, and spreading false information on individuals. These are some of the issues that we will have to contend with very soon, and it's going to be important for our governments and our policymakers to really start thinking very early on how they may be able to fine-tune the tools that they have at their disposal so that it doesn't end up being about, for instance, shutting down the internet, as is the case sometimes when we have elections on the continent, or, having some of these blunt force methods. That's not going to work anymore. It's not going to be about censorship. It's going to be about finding much more fine-grained ways to punish those who misuse them.
How about for those people who say that maybe slow down on regulation, let these technologies develop, and then once they are developed and they are in use, then people can regulate them? What do you say to them?
We cannot afford that. We live on a continent which, for better or worse, is very diverse, and in certain areas, the spread of misinformation can quickly spiral into ethnic conflict, into all types of conflict, right? I don't need to name examples or name countries. I think that you know very well what I'm alluding to. So these are very specific situations where we cannot afford to run the natural experiment and then come back later. We've seen what that has led to in West Africa, even in the Central Africa region, with civil wars and genocides and other situations like that all started from being able to use even tools that were not as advanced, just radio. And so imagine now the impact that having the ability to make completely make up completely false information that looks so realistic that you can put your finger on it, you can see a video, you can hear a person say something that they've never said or do something they've never done, right? That is now possible, and we really need to be very careful, particularly in the context of the fragile situations that we have on our continent in terms of making sure that this is not used to spread conflict and be able to degenerate into armed conflict or other situations.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Paul. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Dr. Momar Dieng is a Harvard University professor and Dean of the School of Business at the African Leadership University in Kigali, Rwanda.